Hello everybody. I had a little problem with the gauge cluster in the '04 Silverado. The disclaimer is I've already fixed the problem, but I was in such a foul mood about it yesterday that the video was not very good, so I'm going to just go through the motions and show what happened and what I did to repair it. First off, when I got in the truck yesterday to come home from work, that display in the middle of the screen was on, and all the rectangles were just solidly lit. Now I haven't put a key in it, I haven't turned it on or anything. That was just opening the door, and that's what I found. And it's had some little glitches here and there in the past few months, but I hadn't thought much of it, just getting to be an old truck. And that's the way she goes. So I'll go through some stuff I did there at the office just to check a couple things. First thing I checked, there's a ground wire that bolts to the back of the engine block in this general area where that big conduit is for the wiring harness. Just to the right of that fastener, that gray fastener, down on the back of the engine block. Real hard to see it, but there's one single wire that's connected to that, and that was good. Well, let's get into getting this gauge cluster out. Got to start, of course, by taking the bezel off. It just pulls off. Put your fingers behind there on that lip, and it comes right out. And then put it down in low gear, and then come the rest of the way out. Not a big deal. Then, of course, put it back in park, shut it off. Next will be the 4 screws. It's 4 7mm screws. I've already taken them out. Handy tip: have a telescope magnet in case you drop a screw like I did. You can go in there and get it out. Now I can pull the cluster out. I like to tilt it. May have to do put that in reverse. I like to put that down in reverse and then tilt that out. And then I can reach back in here, pull it up enough, squeeze the tabs. It's going to be hard to show that. There's a blue tab and a gray tab. Just squeeze those together, and that harness will unplug from the cluster. It is removed. There. Take that off. Should just pop right out of there. So I've been poking around at it, got the magnifying glass out, I see one bad soldering connection right here on this resistor. So I'm going to try to reflow these and see if I can get some connection out of it. Maybe. Now, being that it's my truck, that's not going to be all that's wrong with it. Guarantee you that. I went ahead and did the soldering off camera. I've reflowed this cluster here. 7. I reflowed these 4 here. I reflowed these 3 here. This one was actually loose right here. It wasn't even attached, it was just hanging by a thread. And I think that's where my problem was. I'm going to go pop this in the truck right quick and see if it comes up. Oh, heck yeah. Awesome. Turn signals are working. There's my check engine light. And all the other lights are working now. And everything is normal. That's my brake light. That's all bright, just like brand new. Odometer's bright and gear indicator is nice and bright. You could barely even see it. So one of the future things I'm going to need to do is the gear indicator is getting really dim compared to the odometer and the information center. But not a huge deal, but you can just barely see it now. So I'll have to look into that one of these days. Yeah, so I'm real happy with this. Let's put this on. We're in the right direction. Put that on. Now that looks good. Then of course I'll have to get all these lined back up. Just kind of let them sit on there loosely. Then I'll go out to the truck and get these lined up and press back on for good. Well, I think everything is about lined up to my liking. So I'll go get that front cover and we'll slap that on there and put the 4 screws back in it and might just beat darkness.